it's Silverwolf. I'm in a new room, I have new glasses, and the world is fucking killing itself. But nothing to worry about, we'll just read more books. Yeah, no, the world is fucked at the minute. And we can only really blame ourselves and the government because they are fucking useless. Oh wow. I'm very bright at the minute. I'm using natural lighting as well, so that probably is why that did that. So yeah, today will hopefully not be a very long video. It'll also be the first video that I'm actually putting out for 2025. It's a new year. I want to do better with my content. I think in October or something I put out a new introduction video which goes into detail on the fact that I now have 3 channels and what I plan to do for those channels. This is obviously my book and reaction channel, and I keep labeling it as my main channel, but I don't actually know if any of them will be my main channel. It just depends on whether I'm in a book mood or a movie mood or a gaming mood or a K-pop mood, but we'll see what happens. I'm hoping to do more book and reactionary content this year. I wanted to do a sort of TBR style video because I got a new journal that I wanted to do because I didn't do the book journaling properly last year the way I wanted to. So this year I wanted to do it properly and actually be consistent with it and only put things into it that I actually want to do. And one of those things was a reading challenge of 25 books in 2025. Obviously I'm not the only one who's done this kind of thing. I'm not the one who thought up the idea of reading the same amount of books as the year it is. Which, if you go by that logic, I should be reading 2025 books, but fuck that. Reading has been a bit of a challenge for me, more because my attention span isn't great anymore, and I hate that. I really hate the fact the internet has diminished my attention span for reading and watching movies and stuff. I also think my intelligence has dropped, because a lot of the time when someone points out things in a movie or a TV show, I'm like, oh my god, I missed that completely. And then I feel stupid for missing it. Not fun. But it happens in books too. But yeah, anyways, not getting into that. I am gonna go through 25 books that I really want to get to, and I'm hoping I can get to in 2025. This is not a guarantee I will read them. I'll get to why at like the end of the video, but there's no guarantee I will actually be able to get to these books. They're just 25 books that I really want to get to in this year, because the vast majority of my books I have, hang on, this is my new journal. It's an Aquarius one and it looks class, but I've changed the like layout of things now, and I've included for every month a like monthly check-in kind of thing, which includes how many books do I have at the start, how many do I have at the end, books that I've unhauled, pages that I've read throughout that month, books that I've read, and then on this side I have how many books I bought. So far I have 4 on the way. I will be doing like a little haul at the end of the month with these books, but I'll also be including books that I bought in December, November, because I know it wasn't a lot, it was only 3, so I didn't do a video on them, so I'm just going to include them in that video. Where was I going with that? There was a reason that I brought the checkup in. Oh, how many books I have. My books, only my books, not including my manga. All my books, I have 111 that I own. Out of those 111, I have read Twilight, New Moon, Kingdom of the Wicked, Serpent and Dove, Blood and Honey, Saviour's Champion, Saviour's Sister, Undead and Unfed, and Sick. And I'm gonna include another 2 because I have the paperback and the hardbacks of Unfed and Undead, and I have that included in the amount of books I own. So that's 11? No, that's 12. 13 and 14 for Maze Runner and the Hunger Games. I've read 14 books out of 111. Technically 109. I hate math. You get the point. I've read very little of the books I own, and I want to read more. I just haven't gotten around to it. I haven't had the mood for it. I'm always worried about like, well, what if I like a book that everyone hates? What if I end up reading a book and it ends up being an author who's like a piece of shit? There is a video I'm going to be doing that I am reading books from Sarah J Maas, but I got the books for free on iBooks and it's part of a challenge. So, at the very least, she didn't get any of my money. So we'll take that. We'll take what we can. For example, J. Kristoff. The Nevernight series was something I was interested in, and then I watched Cindy's video talking about it, and there was just a whole load of shit in there where I was like, yeah, no, fuck that. Then I found out J. Kristoff was actually a piece of shit. So like, things like that do worry me, where like, what if I get into a book and it turns out that the author isn't great, or the vast majority of the series or books people didn't like and I do like, or they didn't like it, or they do like it and I didn't like it. It does worry me, but at the same time, everyone has different preferences, everyone has different likes and dislikes. Some people are more tropey, some people like more sex scenes, some don't. I'm just realizing I'm not recording the audio. Been talking for 11 minutes and I didn't realize I wasn't recording the audio. What a great way to start 2025. Oh yeah, I have a new mic. I think in this channel, this might be the first time you're seeing this mic. 'Tis nice. It can go different colors, but I like the multicolored one for this channel, because on my gaming channel, I pick a certain color for each game, and then red mutes it. But anyway, fuck's sake. What was I gonna say? Or something I was about to say and I forget. Preferences change per person, and that's fine. It's just because of how... Oh, I was going on about sex scenes. For me, I don't mind them. I'm fine with clean books, which I don't like that term of a book being clean, because then it makes it sound like sex is dirty and wrong. It's sort of like a puritanical word. I don't know if that's the right way to use that word, but it feels like it kind of is. Like it's a much of a purity thing of having sex before marriage is dirty and wrong and all that shit. It has nothing to do with you, so stay out of it. None of your business. I think though, there should be warnings for every book. I said I was going to make this a short video, but now I'm already talking for 12 minutes. Anyway, trigger warnings should be a thing in all books. Even if you don't have a lot of triggering topics, I think there should be at least like a basic warning list of, yes, there is sex scenes or smut. Smut's the censored version of it. I don't like spice. Spice is weird to me. There's a very strange thing of foods in sex, and there is nothing sexual about food that I've ever felt. Spice, so spicy things. There's the emoji of the... Oh shit, what's it called? I know what it's called, but I can't think of the word. I hate that, when you know what you're about to say and then the word just vanishes from your brain. Chili! There we go. Jesus Christ. It's like the chili emoji people use to determine how spicy a book is. But spice and lemons, if anyone who doesn't know what a lemon was, it was smut before it became smut. You would see it quite a lot on like Wattpad and stuff, and it would just mean it's a sex version of a scene or a sex scenario with these characters involved. That's all it was. But like, why foods? I don't get it. But either just use smut or call it what it is. It's a sex scene. Or an intimate scene. Intimate feels a lot less annoying, because that's what it is, it's intimate. Smutty is just the censored version. And then spice feels like you're kind of making fun of it a bit, to me at least. But like, it's a sex scene, get over it. I have no problem with a book not having any sex scenes, and I don't have a problem with a book having sex scenes. What I have a problem with is if a book markets itself as being like this super romantic fantasy, or maybe supernatural. It has a plot. It markets itself as having a plot. And then you start reading it, and it's insta-love or insta-lust and no love. And it's just constant sex. There's no plot. Or the plot comes into it in the last like 5 chapters. That type of shit I hate. That's not a good story. And if you're just wanting to write shameless smut, that's fine. At least market it at that, though, because then I won't have a problem with it. It's when you market it as something it's not that I have a problem with it. But I don't like romanticized abuse as well and that type of shit, so that gets frustrating. But the sex itself, I don't have a problem with it so long as it makes sense or things have been communicated properly. It's not a lot to ask for. But anyways, already talked way too much as per usual, and this is why I wanted to do it as a small video, because I talked too much. And I have 20 minutes before my heating alarm goes off. So I'll run through these 25 books. I'm not going to go into what they're about. I might say a few things about it, maybe not, but I won't go into the like summary of the book itself. I'll just run through them, starting with all the hardback versions of things I have because they're thicker and harder to lift sometimes. Also, this is my physical books of my TBRs. I have a few books on my iBook app, but I'm not going through them, mostly because they're being dealt with in challenges, which I'll mention in a second. I'm not including them in this video as part of the 25 books because I want to try and get down my physical TBR as much as I possibly can this year. So firstly we have Iron Widow by Jiran Zhao. I always pronounce their name wrong. I think it's Jiran. As far as I'm aware about it, basically everyone's morally grey. And it's sort of, what's the word? What was it called again? Pacific Rim mixed with something is what they described it as. Does it say in this? Oh yeah, The Handmaid's Tale meets Pacific Rim in this dazzling blend of Chinese history and mecha science fiction. Now that sounds fucking badass. Also the cover just looks really pretty. But Heavenly Tyrant came out a little while ago as well. I bought this off Amazon, but I got a special edition of it. I'm now thinking this might have actually been someone who created this themselves, because that's not centered. And I don't know if that's on purpose or not. Someone let me know if that was on purpose, because if not, I have a personally made version of this book. But it's signed. Is that Jiran's signature? Someone let me know. Like, is that how they write their signature? Because I'm a little worried now. I never noticed that that wasn't centered. I also love that their picture is them in a onesie. What a fucking mood. But I've wanted to read this for a while. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. That's gonna be, honestly, my reasoning for literally everything. To Kill a Kingdom by... where are you? Alexandra Christo. I also have The Princess of Souls, which takes place in the same universe. I don't know if it's a direct sequel though, because I ended up getting it in a fairylit box as an extra thing. And I fucking hate the fact that it has sprayed edges because the color of the book itself, orange and green are fine together. Like, that looks fine. But because it's such a bright orange, I don't really like it. I also don't really like paperbacks having sprayed edges, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, I think that would have looked prettier without the sprayed edges. But yeah, I do have that. That's not part of the thing though. To Kill a Kingdom is. A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. This one I will be hopefully reading as part of a challenge. A Dark Academia specific challenge. I have a few of them in my book journal now for different genres because I want to explore more genres. One of them being Dark Academia, and this is one of them. So hopefully I will be getting to that this year. The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. Technically I've already started reading this. This shouldn't be on the list, but I do hope to finish it this year. I've been wanting to read it for a long time. I've had the books for maybe over a year now, maybe 2 years. I'm pretty sure I actually got it before COVID, so it might have been 4 years actually. It's been a long time. And I've wanted to get to them, so. Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I've heard that this is actually really loved by people. I can't remember if this is a sequel or not, but I've heard a lot of people really liked that. These two I'm gonna say together. The Other Black Girl by Zakia Delilah Harris, and The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. The reason why I'm saying both of these at the same time is because they're both set in the real world of modern day, which are books that I think will be the most difficult for me to actually like, but they've also been two of the books that have been on my shelves the longest, way over 4 years, maybe 5 or 6 years, and I have never picked them up. So I need to get through them this year, or I need to accept the fact that I'm never going to read them and get rid of them. Modern day stuff are stories that I usually can't read. I just don't find them interesting. The only one that I have been able to read, probably A Sign of Affection, and that's my manga. I haven't really found one in the modern day in a book, and for anyone who's going to say like Twilight or something, it's in the modern day, yes, but it's supernatural. When I say modern day, I more mean like nothing interesting is happening. Like something like They Both Die at the End, for example. where I know kind of what happens. The whole point is that they meet in one day and then the two characters die at the end of the book. That's the whole point of it, but there's no fantastical thing, there's no supernatural, there's no magic or sci-fi or anything like that. Those things just don't interest me. So, and I do want to read more of them. It's just kind of hard for me to actually enjoy. I think I'll enjoy them more in manga than I will in books. But these two, I need to get to them this year, otherwise they're going off the shelves. Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is a trilogy, I do know that. And I know people have liked it. I know it involves the Grim Reaper or something, and it's a gorgeous cover too. But part of me kind of just wants to buy the trilogy because the books are really pretty. But this has also been on my shelves for a very long time, so I need to get to it. Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen, which was my Fairylit edition of it when I was part of Fairylit. I stopped my subscription with Fairylit after my 5th one, I think. After my 5th one because I just couldn't afford it. But this is really pretty and a really gorgeous edition of the book as well. I know it involves a tarot card reader as the main character, like a witchy kind of character. I am also aware of the fact that the author intended for this to have a sequel and then decided not to. So this is probably going to end in a cliffhanger with nothing further explained because she's no longer doing the sequel. So part of me is making me not want to read this anymore. I've also heard people not think that this was well written. Some people enjoyed it, some people didn't, but that's going to be for every book, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know. I still want to read it, but I don't want to get rid of it because it's such a gorgeous, it is a really pretty book. Like, come on. Need to get through my Fairylit boxes or books. I haven't read any of them. One of them is up there for a challenge, but I'll explain that in a second. The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson, which I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, goes through like the Salem witch trials place and time. And I can't remember if this deals with actual witches, or if it goes through the history of people, women mostly, but people being accused of being witches and then being burned even though they were just people. They were just women. I don't know if that's the way they went or if this is actual witches. I also much prefer the other cover. I was hoping to be able to get the other cover, but you can't find it. But yeah, this has also been on my shelves for a very long time. Need to get to it. I'm trying to put the ones that I have had on my shelves the longest as part of this 25 books in 2025. The Plague Letters by V.L. Valentine, again, has been on my shelves for a very fucking long time. And this is in 1665. I think it's with either the Black Plague or a plague similar to it. But yeah, this is also a modern day type of one, I think. Again, not sure why I picked it up, other than the cover being really cool. And I like the feel of it. It's kind of like an oldie timed kind of one. Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sulin Tan, which I'm currently reading as part of a challenge. I have 5 books where I pick out the names from a jar. I'm not the one who made that up, but I was filming it months ago and then it got really popular and I think it's died down a bit now. I just haven't uploaded it because I never finished it yet. I haven't even got to this book yet. There's no tabs. I'm only on the 3rd book out of the 5, which is Eclipse, and you can see it down here. But I have heard that people really liked this one and didn't like the sequel, but still gonna play it. But I'm still gonna read it, and we'll see how it goes. But that ends my hardbacks. So now I need to figure out how to get this out of the way. I have them up on the table now, just so it makes it easier. I'm also losing light very fast because it's still winter. So we have Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is a fairy tale retelling. I have all of the books from this. They're called the Lunar Chronicles. Have not read a single one of them, and I'm pretty sure Cinder is the first one, or is it Winter? I didn't check that. Shit. Doesn't say. I think Cinder is the first one, but if not, the series in general, I need to start it at least. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I have the trilogy of this. I have the Six of Crows duology, and then I have Rule of Wolves, because I thought Rule of Wolves was the first one in that duology, but it's King of Scars, and I don't have that book yet. I am planning to do a video for all of these, but I haven't even started reading it yet. I have actually started this one before, I still have the bookmark in it actually. I got to page 6. So I only read the prologue, but I'll have to reread that little part because I don't remember what actually happens other than her and her friend as children meet someone. But I started it and never continued it. I don't know why I didn't continue it, but I need to. I've both heard people say you don't need to read Shadow and Bone to get to Six of Crows, but I've also heard that people think you should read it first. Because Six of Crows is the one that I got first. I got that duology first, and I wanted to read that because specifically Cindy said that it was one of the best duologies that she's read. So I wanted to read it, and I have the books now. I may as well read the first trilogy before I go to Six of Crows, but I need to start it first. The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak is, I think, another one that's in the modern day, but I've heard a lot of people really like this, or think it's a really good book. It is a very long book. It is over 500 pages. Again, another book that's been on my shelves for a very long time. Cinderella is Dead by Kaelan Bayron. Not sure how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. Another retelling. I think this is a sapphic retelling. I don't remember how long this has actually been on my shelves though, but it's been at least over a year. Then I have Harry Potter by Voldemort. This is the last book. I've gotten past, I think, the first 2 chapters in the first book and then never ended up continuing. I don't remember why. But I got these years ago for a Christmas present. I have all of them except the newest one. What was it called? The Cursed Child, which is a play. I wouldn't be reading that anyways. I can't read play format. But I've had these books for a very long time and they're just on my shelves. So it's unlikely that I'm gonna do a video on this. I might. I haven't decided yet. Mostly because she's a cunt. But I bought them ages ago. I also had the movies since I was a child. So I'm not giving her any more money talking about it. At the same time, I don't know whether to actually do this in a video or not, but I do know I need to get through them or just DNF them and get rid of them because they're taking up an entire square of space I could use for other books. I Fell in Love with Hope by Lan Callie. This book scares the absolute shit out of me. I am genuinely scared to read it. More because I'm fully aware of the fact that it has a sad ending, and it's like, it deals with like depression and ill patients, mental illnesses. Where is it? Because they have a trigger warning in here. It's exploration of friendship, sin, illness, love, and all things that make us human. The story contains domestic abuse, eating disorders, intense physical bullying, self-harm, suicide, rape, depression, anxiety, and gory descriptions of disease. Now, I actually need to look up. Okay, some people are saying that rape is a minor thing in this story, and some are saying it's a major thing. What I want to know is whether or not you see it happen, because I can't really read stories that include that. If you're seeing the lead up to it, and then it's implied or it's talked about in past reference of someone who's experienced it, that I find easier to read. But seeing a descriptive rape scene, I can't really deal with, which is a bit strange because I'm able to write them because I have a few stories where that's part of a character's backstory. Not all of them, but there's 1 or 2, and I'm able to write that, but I think it's because I'm in control of it. I know what's gonna happen, I know how it's gonna happen, I know whether or not they're gonna get out of it, or if they're getting revenge, or if they're not, or how they're gonna react. Like, I'm fully aware of that. So I think that's why I'm able to write them and not read them. I can't find anything on it, so someone please spoil me that has read this. Is it talked about in past reference? Is it implied? Do you see a lead up, or are you seeing graphic detail rape? And if so, please tell me the page. Only if it's a graphic depiction. If it's a lead up or it's talked about, I don't need a page. But if you're seeing it actually happen, please let me know and what page it is, because that's the only thing really that's been putting me off of this. I'm scared to read it because I'll be sad, and I know that, but the fact that I don't know about the rape scene, or scenes, I don't know if it's multiple, is what's making me really scared to read it. So please someone semi-spoil me on whether or not there is a full descriptive one and what page it's on. Otherwise, I probably would have read this already. That's one thing with the trigger warnings that they've put into that book. They have them there, I wish there was a bit more detail on the what versions, like what variations of there are there. Like simply saying you're seeing it on page at the end would be very handy. City of Bones by Cassandra Clare, also an author that is a bit of a bitch. I got these books before I found out about that, so now 6 of them are just sitting on my shelves. I also know a lot of things that happen in these, but I know a lot of people have consistently said that the books are better than the show and the movie, so I wanted to read these. I've also heard that the Infernal Devices trilogy is actually the best one, which would be after this. But again, similar to Shadow and Bone, I started it, got to page 14, which is in the middle of a chapter, and just never continued it. So I need to go back to it and continue that. Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I have the trilogy, however, it is really fucking annoying because I have the paperback versions of this and the second book, and then I have the hardback of this one, but a different version, and then I have another hardback of the third book, because this one and the second book, the paperback versions, were supposed to be hardbacks, and they'd said that on eBay, but they came to me as paperbacks, and I can't for the life of me find hardbacks of this that aren't the special edition ones, and I'm really wanting them, because I prefer hardbacks because it doesn't break the spines. I am one of those people, I hate when the spines break, it's just very frustrating. I've had the first one of this, not this one, but the first book I've technically had for a long time, so I do need to get to that as well. Apparently it's a very good series. The Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. I think this is a duology. I only have the first book. It has sprayed edges. I hate it. Apparently this is really good. I can't remember what it's about though, but I'm pretty sure she's some sort of warrior or has to grow up as a warrior, something like that. Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. She's done Electra and I think another one. I forget what the other one's called though, but this is a Greek retelling. I don't remember what story this is a remake of though, because I haven't really gotten into Greek mythology, but I've heard a lot of people say that this is good, so I picked it up. Also, it was a really pretty edition. The Beautiful Ones by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, another book I've had for a long time. I think this is a duology. It's the same author as Mexican Gothic, which is apparently a good book. I know this one also deals with the Grim Reaper, I think, or like a death character or something like that, but it's pretty short, like it's not a long book. It's about 300 pages. Yeah, it's not that long at all, I could get through that. Perfectly Preventable Deaths. I'm pretty sure this is a YA or middle grade book, but the cover looks so cool. Honestly, I only really got it because it has 2 foxes in the covers. This is a duology though, just nearly 400 pages, and it's super floppy. I want more floppy books. They're so cool. The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. I think this is a trilogy. Had this for a very long time. Don't remember anything about the description. I'm not gonna go into it. I've kind of said the same thing for all of the books on here, to be honest. But yeah, so that's... Let me just recount that just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Yes. 25 books in 2025 that I hope I can get to, but we'll see what happens. I do have a few challenges, like I mentioned, one of which is the 2025 books, but I have 5 other specific ones, if I can fucking find them. There we go. I have one for classics. Each of these will have 5 books. So I have one for classics, contemporary, popular, which will be both from YouTube and TikTok mostly, dark academia, and then horror and thriller, and then I have one for extras because I have a Dutch door, and the back of this one was empty, so I just threw in an extras one from any genre. But these 5 genres are ones that I haven't really read anything from before, so I kind of wanted to get into that. And then I have a different type of challenge to do with my TBR in general, which is just picking out the little name from a jar, 5 names from the jar that are randomized to read for that. And I have, my first one is still ongoing, where I have Maze Runner, The Hunger Games, Eclipse down here, Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which is part of it, and Spice Road. So they're the first 5 I need to get through for this fucking TBR challenge. And then I have genre-based ones. So like I read 5 romance books, to see if love is real. 5 zombie books, which I am going to be doing. I have 1 for fairy tale retellings. I have 2 videos specifically for my manga where I read the first volume of 10 manga to see if I'll continue it, but the order of which that they need to come out is actually dependent on when I recorded the majority of the videos, because one of them I need to film the intro today. One of them, the intro was filmed ages ago and I never got around to it. And then the rest of it's going to be filmed now in this new house. So it'll be a bit confusing, but the light is basically gone now. So I'm just going to end the video here because it was longer than it fucking needed to be. As per usual, I'm so sorry. Hopefully, I will be able to get through these 25 books in this year. We'll see what happens. But that is my goal of the books that I hope I can get to this year. I will do another video at the end of the year to see whether or not I did actually end up getting to these 25 books. But we'll see, because some of them are shorter than others. Some of them are part of a challenge that I intend to do for this year anyways. So we'll see how things go. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike, even though I'm the only one that can see that. If you have any book suggestions or want to comment anything, leave it in the comments. But I hope you have a good day and take care of yourself and take care of the pack while I'm away. Bye!